I'm the Managing Director of Cloud9 Spain, a real estate company based here in Marbella. We also have a little business on the Costa Cálida, Costa Blanca, but predominantly here on the Costa del Sol, so Marbella, Benavís, Estepona, anything pretty much between Malaga and Gibraltar. That's us.
Okay, so what I wanted to ask you was, in the last quarter, particularly since the pandemic, especially, the big buzzword in real estate and follow-up and really to the idea of how you shorten life cycles, all this kind of stuff that everybody's talking about, is the idea of virtual viewings, live tours, remote viewings, and there's 100 names for it, and there's 100 different kinds of interpretations of what this is. Yeah. So I know you guys have been doing it here in the Costa del Sol, and I'm kind of interested to know from your perspective, is it hard? How is it going? And is it working? Those are my three questions for you.
Okay, I mean, we kind of fell into it really because it's something that our clients started asking us for. You know, our clients couldn't get here. The nature of our inquiries means that they're quite specific about the areas they're interested in and sometimes the properties. So if we have a client who's keen on something and you know, the next step is, well, I want to see it, but I can't, then obviously we have to then change our service offering to provide that bridge, you know, to that viewing. So the obvious thing was for us to go out and video the properties. And, you know, we had a sit down, we had to think about it, about how we would best do this. And it's not hard. To answer your first question, all you need is a decent camera. And to be honest with you, I think most people now are using smartphones, particularly with the wide angle feature that certainly the new ones are built with. So you don't even need a wide angle lens tacked on. You need a gimbal to steady the shots, and you need to be able to confidently present. And it needn't be a long-winded thing. Sometimes it can be a 5-6 minute video walk through. Sometimes you're there with a client live. Sometimes you're not. Sometimes it's just a video that you're going to be sending later in the day. But it's not difficult, but you need the right kit. And it's something that we've been doing more and more. I think the more often you do it, the more confident you become in doing it, and the happier you are in having it as a tool in your tool bag. But what we found in this pandemic is that virtual viewings, whatever you want to call them, video tools, they've almost replaced first viewings. So a client is now, because they've got time to sit at home, a client is kind of picking out maybe 5 or 6 properties. They're working with our team to identify those properties, and then they're instructing us to go out and shoot videos of maybe 3 or 4 houses that they really like. They then sit at home, watch them, and then when they do eventually manage to come over, their shortlist is whittled down to maybe 2 or 3 rather than starting with the 6 or 7. So it means that we're a bit more productive in terms of the time we're spending with the client in resort. But of course, what it does also give you is it gives you the opportunity to sell that dream home to a client over the phone from the video itself. So we've had a couple of those as well.
So you've done a mixture of pre-recorded videos where you literally walk through a house with your phone or your camera, yeah, and also a few live ones where you're actually on like a video call with them and walking them around, like doing a remote viewing, quite literally. Is that right?
Yeah, because okay, we had a particular client who wanted to see, right, you know, what's up the road there? Can you walk me up the hill? Can you walk me down the hill? Can you walk me around the side and see what's in that corner of the garden? And then you get other clients who just want a general sort of maybe 3 or 4 minute video which they'll look at with their family and then come back to us with further questions. And that might necessitate a further video, but hey, that's a buying sign, so it's all good.
And how does that work? I mean, you move mainly in the off-plan new development side of things. I presume on an off-plan project there isn't something physical you can walk around, or are you relying more on the new the sort of drone with the render videos that the developer provides?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, it's something that we've used predominantly on the resale market. So the new stuff, you know, you're right, the developer normally has the best video you can get, which is either a video of the development in construction or the show home or how it's all going to look. So there's no point really us trying to do better than that because we can't. So it's the virtual viewings really we've used more for the resale market, particularly at the higher end. Although having said that, we've actually got a client who wants us to shoot a video today of Higa on West, which is kind of half built. So we're going to go along there and we're going to actually send that client the developer's video, but also our video of the area and our kind of honest assessment of where it is, what it is, and how it's going to perform as a project.
Okay, so the advantages, as I'm understanding that you're finding, are A, that it shortens the sales, the life cycle of the from lead to sale,
Sure.
because a lot of the research is being taking place remotely,
Yeah.
rather than when they're here on the ground, kind of started from zero and seeing 30
Exactly.
different properties. They kind of have a much shorter list, and they're much more informed about what they want.
Yeah.
But it must also have a secondary benefit to the brand, right? Establishing you guys as the experts in your field, and
Yeah.
much more memorable, I would have thought.
I think so. We're getting more and more traffic from that in terms of people inquiring out of the blue. We don't have them on our database. How have they found us? Oh, we've seen your videos, we've seen this, we've seen that. A friend has mentioned that you did a video for him. Can you do one for us? So it grows.
And when you do these videos, I presume the ones that are generic, you share them across YouTube and your different social networks, that sort of thing. Is that correct?
Yeah, we do, because people, what we're finding at the moment is that clients and potential buyers, they want content, they want to see stuff. It's gone from we want to see nice pretty pictures of the show flat to we want to touch and feel it. We want to actually walk with you through the thing. So it's we're having to up our game to cope with the fact that buyers have a little bit more time on their hands to do the research. So we've got to make sure that we're in step with that.
And do you think this is something that when the hopefully the travel restrictions, etc., lift, do you think that we're going to revert back to type, or do you think this kind of technology use of technology is now here to stay and is likely to be the new bar set that buyers expect?
I think it's here to stay. I mean, I was speaking to an estate agent in London the other day, and they're doing something similar in that, they're using video viewings, and actually when they list a property now, they're doing a video of it straight away, and they're putting that on the website so that you can have a virtual viewing as a first port of call. And I think the virtual viewings will become the initial viewing. So, like I said before, if you have a client who's coming over looking at 10 properties, they'll be able to do that from the comfort of their own home. And then when they do eventually come over, there'll be second viewing effectively. So it changes our role. It changes the way that we actually have to service our clients' requirements, and it changes the training requirements for our staff. Who does the videoing? What about the person that's speaking to the client on the phone? What do they need to know? Are they sending the video? Are they doing it? So you have to kind of work it out in terms of the skills in your team.
And I guess the $1 million question is, first of all, you said, did this work well equally with higher end properties as well as mid and lower end properties, or do you find there's a difference?
I think it actually maybe it works a little better at the higher end. I don't know, maybe that's just our kind of evidence from the last few weeks, but we've done a couple of deals, one at 1.25 million, one at 2.75 million, purely from virtual viewings. The client's never seen the property.
Wow. So they've committed to the purchase without having physically walked the property themselves.
Exactly, because there's really, we did a lot of work on both of them. So we spent a lot of time nurturing the client, talking to them about various options, and then both of them actually knew where they wanted to be in terms of location. One of them was aware of the house but hadn't been in it. And then the second one just wanted us to go in and kind of shoot from every angle, which we did. And we had one video that we sent to the client, and then we had a second one where the client was live with us and was sort of asking us, can you go into the laundry room? Can you take a shot of this? But those guys, because maybe it's because at the higher end, there's kind of less stock to choose from. So when somebody really hones in on an option, and they, particularly if they know the area well, this isn't going to work with people who don't know where they're kind of looking. But for people who know kind of where they want to be, they know that something might be a good price in a good street, then it becomes like, this is the one. And all we're doing really is closing the sale, but in a different way.
So these two sales, you said you did them in the last couple of weeks?
Yeah.
So during the sort of renewed travel restrictions, I suppose it answers the question which was going to be my next question, is does it work? Because there's lots of talk about how cool it is, but is anybody actually selling on the back of it? And I suppose the answer is yes.
Yeah, we are.
Oh, okay. Okay. So and I suppose the more you do it, the better you get at it. Is that correct?
Exactly. We're learning all the time. We're learning, because my mantra has always been, sometimes the more you show someone, the more fault they can find, so it's like with pictures on a website, if there's one room that doesn't look so great, maybe don't include it in the pictures, because if you're anything like me, you're looking for faults. If I'm looking at a property, say in the UK to buy, and I see a dodgy pink bathroom, then that's it, I'm off, you know? But actually, if I saw it in the flesh, I might love it, and I might think, you know, that pink bathroom, I could replace that and sort it out. So I always thought that with video, you know, kind of less is more. But what I'm having to adapt to, my head is that, well, actually, these guys want to see everything, and you can't hide anything from them. They want to see the good, the bad, and the ugly, and then they'll make a choice. So it's a slight change in sort of marketing tack, really. But to answer your question about, you know, does it work? Yes, it does work. I don't know if people were able to get here, whether that would be the sort of final thing that they would do, or whether they would say, thanks for the video, yeah, we're nearly there, but we're actually going to jump on a plane next week and come and see it. Who knows? We'll find out in the next weeks and months, I guess.
And so what would you say to your typical family agency that doesn't really have the resources or the technical knowledge to start doing this sort of thing, these remote viewings and video chats and all that? Is it really not that hard?
It's not hard. I mean, as I say, we do everything pretty much now. I mean, we bought some fancy cameras, we bought some fancy kit. I'm a believer that sometimes the fancier something is, the more that can go wrong with it. So we've had hundreds of gimbals and hundreds of things that have come in and out of the office. At the moment, for those two, I'll tell you honestly, for those two deals, we used the latest iPhone with the inbuilt wide angle lens. We used a gimbal, which was I think $100. And then it's just a case of sticking a lead in the phone and downloading the video and uploading it to YouTube or whatever. And if you don't know how to do that, then I'm sure there's people on Facebook, friends, family, who can show you. If not, just go onto Google and watch a tutorial. I haven't got a clue. I'm not technically minded at all. Luckily, I've got people in the team who kind of know what they're doing. But I think even I could learn.